Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again. Let's start this over. Hello, I'm Sean Paul Clark here for the Intel Extreme Masters Toronto Qualifier. How are you doing, Hazzyobs? Thanks for joining me.
Good, and it's working.
Oh, I can hear you now. Awesome.
Hooray.
Awesome
That's nice.
stuff.
That's very nice.
Well, thank you for coming down here. Colaris is on a holiday birthday break back in the UK.
That's nice for him.
But it's even better for you because you get to come here today to cast some StarCraft 2 games with me.
True. That's true.
As we're going to be following this qualifier to find 2 players that can make it to play live in Canada in the second stop of the Intel Extreme Masters Tour this season. The first stop was pretty fun in Shenzhen. We had a very high-skilled tournament, lots of very good players, lots of Koreans doing very, very well. Then we had Solar become a champion for the first time in that tournament. Did you manage to catch any of the games there, by the way?
I saw a few games, not all of them because of the time zone. It was pretty hard to catch, but I saw a few of them, and yeah.
It was a very, very good tournament there.
It was,
And if you haven't seen the VOD, you can, of course, go to youtube.com/ESLTV to get the videos there. There was some very, very, very good games. Snoot had an awesome tournament. Jadong had an awesome tournament. And then, of course, Solar and Tasia had a fantastic tournament as well.
I think Jim was in the semifinals as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It was good.
That were the games I followed because he's the Protoss one, right?
Yes, he was the foreign Protoss champion. But yeah, so all issues are now. We're going to be jumping into this very, very shortly. We already have our first semi-final. It wasn't the semi-final according to the bracket that we were going to cover. It's the second semi-final, which is straight beneath it, which is going to be Sacsri versus First here. So before we jump into this, what are your impressions on these 2 players?
I just saw the series of First against Hyun, and First was able to win 2-1. He lost one game against the Mutalist, the other one he was able to win in the base trade scenario, and the first map he won with a 7-gate 1 gas into Immortal all-in. While Sacsri, well, that guy, he knocked me out of the WCS qualifier, so go First, do it.
And Bunny
but he's very strong, like, he's one of the strongest Turks we have in Europe right now.
Yeah, just more recently moving to Switzerland to play in the Mind Sanity House. And as you can hear, the countdown is beginning. We'll see how well this is going to shape up. Sacsri coming off the back of a big loss last night in the WCS Challenger League, losing to Bunny.
2-3.
Yeah, 2 games to 3 after winning the first 2 games. And we're about to jump into the first game of the evening. First, if you remember, in the first qualifier that we ran for the Intel Extreme Masters Shenzhen stop, managed to get 3rd place. He went all the way through the low bracket and eventually met against Snoot in the final game and then lost in a best of 3 where Snoot was able to go through in 2nd place.
That was the overgrowth map, right?
That was the overgrowth swarm host map.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
A very painful loss for him, and I remember speaking to him a few days after. He's not a very emotional or aggressive guy, but when he lost that one, his keyboard may have felt his fists.
He will never forget.
He will never forget that. But it is the second time for him to try and get to an Intel Extreme Masters tournament. Let's find out if he's going to make it there or if Sacsri is going to continue and potentially play at another big international tournament. All right, here we are. We have to the top left here as the red Protoss player. Currently living in Dusseldorf. Living with MC and others, it's First. And then down here to the bottom, it is Sacsri. All right. So, let's think about this for a second here.
Yeah, it's merry-go-round.
Yes.
PVZ, and First is opening up with a pylon in his main base. So, yeah, I guess it will be a gateway expand or something similar. But we will find out soon. While Sacsri, and when I played against him, he was rather aggressive. Like he used to build a lot of Ling Roach in the early games or in the early mid game and try to kill the Protoss or kill the 3rd at least if you try to take one. And let's see if he sticks to that plan. He opens up with pool first, so he doesn't want to get cannon rushed or anything like this.
This is a very early pool, though, right? This is very early. It was like 9 pool.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, I actually was distracted a little bit, but yes, you're right. It's going to be a very early pool, but luckily for First, he's going for gateway, as I mentioned before, in the main base. So if he even scouts the right direction, he should be totally fine and not taking too much damage.
All right. Well,
yeah, I think it was a 9 pool. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 Lings coming out very early on here for him. We'll see how this is going to shape up, as 6 Lings are going to do a lot of damage here, potentially, depending on what we have on the other side of the map here for First. His 6 Lings are now popping. They are going to make their way over. He's scouting in the incorrect position here with his probe.
Going to the wrong side. The links are on the way though, but if first plays it safe, he will start the Zealot when he has 100 minerals, and would just start to cancel right before the Nexus would be placed on. But let's see, he does have the minerals. There we go. The Zealot is started, so he plays it completely safe. He will have 100 gas when the Zerglings arrive, so the Mothership Core can be produced as well. But yeah, he will have to do some probe micro to be able to defend this.
How many probes does he need to kill to make this successful, would you say?
I don't know about the Zerg perspective. I just know as Protoss, I guess if you lose like 4 or something, it's already pretty bad because you opened up with a gateway. So if like any probe the Zerg gets is pretty good for him if you open up like this.
Well, currently none, and the probe difference is massive. It's 20 currently for first, and it's only like 12 or 13 for Sacsri right now. He just get a cancel on that pylon.
He supply blocks him for quite a while actually.
Yeah, no more probes after this Mothership Core pops out, but he's got a wrap around on the Zealot. So the first Zealot does go down, but the Mothership Core pops at the right time here, and this has been pushed back quite happily here. I mean, he's hardly taken any damage really.
Gets the hatchery behind. Did first scout it. Let's have a look. Yes, he did see the hatchery on the natural, so he knows that it's not a full Zergling commitment or speed on the way or anything like this. And Sacsri is going back to drones. He's on 15, 4 more to come, so it's 19 against 21. But the Nexus, of course, is very delayed, and the Zerglings are still around. If they can get the probe here, that would be very annoying. And that's exactly what Sacsri tries to do here.
Alright,
so,
well.
yeah. Just delaying the Nexus even longer. We can see it's 450 minerals already for first, and still no Nexus started. The probe is getting low, but it seems like it will survive. 5 HP. Oh, no, it died.
It does go down. So he does delay this for a little bit. If you look at 500 minerals in the bank, would have liked that 400 down already.
There's the probe going again. He does have one hidden on the map, though.
Yeah. And this is kind of nice. You know, this has allowed Sacsri enough time to get his probe count back up, or drone count, should I say.
Yeah.
It's actually not terrible at this point. Could have been a little bit higher, obviously. But the way that it opened up, this is, you know, it's okay.
It's okay for both, I think. First, we'll add another gateway in the main base and one to the natural. Okay, so he's going for 4 gate because he has the probe on the map, and it's been unspotted for a long time already. So, is he chrono boosting his warp gate? Nope, not yet. He does have a lot of chrono boost, though.
Well, we'll see how this is going to shape up, because this is going to be pretty good. If you think about what Sacsri does, or doesn't have, should I say, is the Extractor's only just now coming down. So he's quite a way away from any roaches or Zergling speed or anything into this game, which is the ultimate answer to this kind of aggression coming out here from first. And Mothership Core and Zealot already going over.
Yeah, there are no Zerglings on the map. Only 3 queens, no roach running, as you said. So
this could work.
If he doesn't start a spine, he's in a pretty bad position, I think.
Yeah.
There's going to be...
no intel at all on this.
He has one on a chrono boost. I think he will chrono boost his gates.
I love the sentry, by the way, on the ramp here that the Overlord sees, because the Overlord's like, all right, cool. He's kind of sitting behind that sentry there. But in reality, as we see, he's about to get very aggressive, and the Overlord's going to spot it.
Now,
yeah, so he's got the spine on the way, Ling's beginning, but is he going to have enough?
Well, he even warps in 2 Stalkers to snipe the Overlord. That will take a while, but I guess it's worth it, because he still has to wait for his Zealots. Did he chrono boost? Yes, he did chrono boost all his gateways, so that's exactly what he was waiting for. And yeah, 4 more Zealots will join the force very soon.
It's got to go soon. 3 spines, Roach Warren on the way.
Yeah, but it's just 1 spine finished. 10 more Zerglings on the way. I think if first goes now and focuses the spine, because there are no transfuses yet. Oh, almost. Now we have 1 on the first queen, which is all the way in the front here.
2 more Overlords on the way, and First is taking his sweet time over here. He's adding on another gas on the natural. He's got the robotics facility coming down as well, but he's not throwing too much money into this right now, Hazwabs. He's only walked in that 2nd round, and that was it.
Yeah, indeed. He's getting the robo at home. The roach run is finished, by the way. Speed just started. The first 3 roaches being warped in. Snipes another Overlord. And, well, yeah, he did see the 3 spines, so maybe he thought, I don't need to commit here. It's already enough damage. I'm going to delay the 3rd base of Sacsri, and that's exactly what he does here. And even the creep spread.
So how do you rate the decision making here from First, not to go too crazy on this?
I'd say that was pretty well done. I guess he could have committed, but the risk was very high, because 3 queens, if they get transfuses up with the spines, you never know if you're able to break it. So following up with an maybe Immortal Sentry push should be very, very effective, because the Zerg is on such a low economy, right? It's only 40 drones, 39 actually, yeah.
All right, well, This is an interesting start to this game here. From that 9 pull into this kind of counter-attack, which has slowed down, obviously, but it is the follow-up push, which is going to be the most deadly. So far, first has gone through Welmu and Hyun in this tournament. Two very, very good players. And then Sacsri's gone through, likewise, very good players, Vortex and Jack G. So fighting to the death here in this qualifier. But the Overseer goes in. And the Overseer has seen...
everything, basically.
Everything.
Yep. He saw the Robo, he saw the Immortal. He does see that there are no additional gates yet. He did see the sentry count as well, which is very important. So, yeah, he knows, or pretty much knows, what will come to him. But the question is if he can defend, because his economy is still pretty, yeah, kind of crippled, actually. It's just 45 drones. He does have an overload at the third of first, so he knows that there won't be any expansion possible anytime soon. So, wow, this is so interesting. He gets the Robo-Boy behind this. And the Twilight Council is already interesting, I think. But the Robo-Boy makes it crazy.
Is this kind of a switch because of the he got scouted?
Maybe, yeah. Could be. Could be. Maybe he feels he couldn't kill the Zerg. I wonder if the Council is for Blink or for +2, because...
yeah. Well, if you think through, you know, Sacsri's vision, he stopped drones really low. He's only at 45. He's expecting this Immortal push to come, but...
yeah, you're right.
As we can see, that's not really the case.
Still 45 drones. He's still making units. He's making Hydras at the moment, getting the range upgrade. Killing one pylon here.
I think this is a nice switch from first. I think this is really nice, because there will be no preparation towards Colossus here. Only mass units, which, if microed well here by first, with a decent amount of sentries around supporting, it could work out well for him as Thermal Lance begins. We'll see the first Colossus shortly. So, cool play, but the drone count's got to rise. Unfortunately, a big supply block here.
Yeah, 7
supply.
Overlords in production. It's 700 minerals. Another 2 Overseers being warped in or morphed in as well. And yeah, you're right. That could have been another like 10 drones or something. Because the first will take some more time. He has to chrono boost his Colossus, his Thermal Lance, and Blink. So it will take a while before he can actually move out.
And right now, I mean, Sacsri's got no idea what's going on. He's got no idea about Colossus. And, you know, obviously we all know that the way to deal with Colossus is you're going to need some Corruptors. Or in this game, in this scenario, it is going to be...
oh, he got the Warp Prism. That was a really good snipe. There were 4 Zealots in it as well.
That was nice. But now the Overseer is going to come in, and he will see the Robotics Bay and see the Twilight Council. So one would imagine that he'd slap down that Spire straight away. He needs to start thinking about how the hell he's going to deal with Colossus.
Yeah, he does see that every structure is basically upgrading. He sees the Blink, he sees the Thermal Lance, and the Robo is building. And the third base by first. So he completely abandoned his idea to kill the Zerg in the next few minutes. He's still on a rather low probe count, so maybe he tries to trick in once more, getting this Nexus, but will actually push out with the second Colossus. Yeah,
lots of mind games going on between these two, but one thing that still stands out is there is no Spire, there's no Corruptors. It will just be mass units on the ground. So Sacsri's going to have to get a very good position. He's going to have to surround well. He's going to have to come from multiple angles. But then again, on the other side of things, you've got double time warps available, sets of force fields. Nice cancellation there by Sacsri on that.
It actually died,
Nexus,
right?
But
I think it wasn't cancelled.
Whether he uses it or not, right now, the probe count's at 46. That's a very decent account for 2 bases.
Oh, and he's trying to hunt down the Roaches, but Sacsri made a really good move here. The Roach is coming in again and will probably cancel this Nexus once more. This is very annoying. This costs so much time for first. Most likely he would like to be on the Zerg side already. Good force fields though.
Yeah, he does get a lot of the. He will get every one of them. And this has to be the go magnet. This has to be the trigger to move out now. He's got that pylon still available on that right-hand side too, remember? So he can warp in from there. But is he going to have... is actually going to have enough units to get a good attack in?
Man, he gets another 17 Roaches. He does have 21 at the moment, 17 Hydras. And they're actually walking...
yeah.
Sacsri makes the concave in the middle of the map, but first is ready as well. I mean, he's coming back. Waits for the third Colossus. And you're so right, the Spire is not started and it's so late that with good force fields, I think that the Zerg army might just disappear unless he gets the perfect surround from all sides.
Well, that's what we need to see here. +2 attack will come out for Sacsri here. Just about in time here for this fight. Another pylon on the left-hand side is going to be the attack point by the looks of it. More sentries and stalkers warped in. He's got a lot of force fields. The double time warps are so important. And to be honest, he just kind of needs to know where the hell this Zerg army is at all times, which he doesn't know, but we'll see. Is this it? Is this when he goes in?
He tries to hack the walls behind him so the Zerg can't come from behind. He does have 7 sentries with lots of energy. Sacsri is
He's going to catch
Starting
these.
to spread.
A couple of units got caught, but here we go. He's going to have to play this out nicely. There's a lot of units at the north. Nice 2 force fields there.
And he's coming now.
Yeah,
Units
here
from all the
we
sides.
go. He's going to come from multiple sides. He backs off. This is very difficult to engage in. The Spire is on its way, but there just simply isn't enough gas. The gases on that third base was so late to be taken. And here we go. There's the force was coming. The double time warps are going to have to come in. One to the right-hand side, another on the left-hand side. Beautiful setup. Yeah. Beautiful setup here.
Really well done by First. Extremely perfect setup. All the force fields hitting. The time warp's been in perfect position. He's focusing with the Colossus. You can see the rally points to the Hydras. Extremely well controlled.
Wow.
And the ground army of the Zerg just disappears.
Beautiful, beautiful fight from First. Absolutely wonderful there. And he is able to pick up map number 1.
Yeah, that was very well done.
A weird game, though. That was kind of
It was a very weird game. Let me check the build order for a second, just we can. Yeah, it was an 8 pool, by the way. So very early pool and low economy for both sides for a very long time. No Spire against the Colossus tech. When he finally scouted it, it was probably too late already because 2 Colossus were out, Blink was on the way. And if you try to get a Spire then with Corruptors to fight against the Colossus, the Protoss has Blink, so he would just snipe the Corruptors, and it was a very tough decision to make, and he tried to surround from all sides, but yeah, as we saw, First control was perfect.
That was such a good fight.
Yeah.
Very well taken fight there. The time warps were in the perfect places, the force fields to complement the time warp as well, and then the 3 Colossus in the middle just untouched and able to fight all game long.
And it was very smart by him to take his time. He knew that there was no Spire on the way because he kept scouting with Hallucination. So he knew it was basically just Roach Hydra. And when the Protoss gets +2 Blink and like 3, maybe 4 Colossus, it's extremely hard for the Zerg to kill that army. I'd say it's near impossible, actually, if he doesn't have any Vipers or lots of Corruptors. So yeah, very well done.
Okay, well, we're on the search, if you're just now joining us, for 2 players from the Europe region. Every player apart from Hyun plays in WCS Europe, so it is a battle of the WCS Europe players here to find out which 2 players will play in Canada. We've already got 1 qualified from the Canadian qualifier. Massa was able to overcome the likes of Scarlet, Huck, Kane. So that was a big, big win for him. That played out a couple of days ago. We're here on the final day of the European qualifier. The American one is next weekend, and we will have the players qualified for the InTouch Masters Toronto, a big, big event that I know a lot of you are excited for. But we're now ready for map number 2. Now, Foxtrot, second map here. What are your thoughts on this? I may have asked you earlier, but you can tell us again.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that First didn't veto this map. That's very interesting, and I'm looking forward. I guess he has a very certain strategy in his mind, and let's see what that is. Because the map is just weird. Like you have this like 2 different cross positions, and they play out completely different. So let's see what he has planned.
All right. Well, game number 2 here between the most recent DreamHack champion, of course, First, a player who's been making a big, big stir for himself recently. We'll find out how this is going to go. So here we are, ready for the next map. Up here to the top left, as the Zerg player, it's Sacsri. And then down to the bottom right-hand side, it's First.
And yeah, it's on Foxtrot Labs, so it is a cross position. I mean, it's forced cross position, but this time we have the cross position where the natural of the Protoss is very wide. It's very hard to wall off, actually, when you try to take a natural expansion. It needs like 3 gates and 2 pylons or something, so could mean that the Zerg is going for some kind of early aggression with Ling Roach or something along the lines, but let's see. I mean...
But the funny thing is here, when you're playing StarCraft 2 ladder as a Protoss, you said it earlier, that this is probably the most, or one of the most vetoed maps right now.
It is one of the most vetoed maps,
and you'd imagine that, you know, considering First is a Protoss player, that would also be the case. But if he's willing to play on this map and didn't veto it out early, does he veto it in the map pool? Does he play in it very often? You said he may have something planned here.
Yeah,
which is
I guess he has something planned. By the way, to note that the Nexus cannon on the natural can't reach the wall off if you that's why I actually really dislike the map. It's very hard to take your natural. They have destructible debris as well. So yeah, we will see. I mean, First is actually going for Nexus first here, so the very greedy build, but that makes sense because on the first map he did open up with 13 gate and got 8 pools. So he's like, why would the Zerg do an early pool again? It failed just very hard on the first map, so makes sense to go 15 Nexus here.
And Sacsri, where are you going with this probe? This drone, buddy?
To the gold base, maybe?
To the gold base. 3 hatchery first here, with one of them being on the gold.
Yeah, I like that opening way more than the early pool. So, yeah, first did get the gate behind this, 15 Nexus, 15 gate. It's very standard build. He will get 18 gas in just a second. There we go. So that's extremely standard by first to set up the PVZ. And as you mentioned, 2 hatcheries before pool, and one of them is at the gold. So Sacsri will have an extremely crazy economy early on.
Well, I mean, the gold base here obviously is very exposed in a certain degree in the middle here, because you can have units attacking from the other side of the gold base compared to the one on the left-hand side, which is safer, more tucked away, but there's destructible debris, which, you know, is obviously more difficult to get towards early to defend. Interesting choice here from Sacsri. Do you think he'll be aggressive with this gold base so forward?
Could be, yeah, it could be. As I mentioned, the Nexus cannon cannot reach the wall, so it could be that he just wants to stay on rather low economy but still have a high income, which the gold base is designed for, and then he will pump out a lot of units, but we will see. I'm pretty sure that first has something in mind and he will execute his build very well.
So let's say that, I mean, we've hammered it down a couple of times now, that the potential for aggression from Sacsri could be quite high in this game. Knowing that as a Protoss player, which is the best way to play with it? Do you go up towards Stargate and Void Ray pretty early on, like an Oracle Void Ray kind of type play, or what do you think could be best for him here? He's going to create this wall, so he's going to have to try and defend it if there is.
Yeah, I mean, even a build like an Immortal All-In, like straight away with 530 Robo or something could be good, so you have the early units to defend, and if he doesn't plan to take a third base, I guess it will be something, that we do have the Robo, so it was even 520, so a little bit earlier than normal.
And this is not going to get scouted anytime soon either. You think about the overlord positions for Sacsri here.
Yeah, that's true. That's
there's no one outside the main base.
That's a very good point. And it's actually hard to scout for the Zerg if the Robo is on the right side, the way first just build it. So that's actually pretty smart.
He's got to be very careful about these overlords too, because with a mothership core granting vision, both overlords could die here. But then again, on the flip side, Sacsri is building 6 lings. He's got Zergling speed on the way, so he could defend them with lings if he is going to be in an aggressive stance.
And the Stalker's actually harassing the drones at the gold base. It's very cute.
Well, he's got a good 90 seconds before Zergling speed is done, so...
2 Zerglings trying to harass the Stalker here.
Yeah, didn't get any kills though, unfortunately, but good harass. He's forced out a Spore Crawler to protect that one drone.
That's funny that it's not a Spine, that's a Spore instead. So he's really scared of the Stargate opening. By the way, the Stalker's harassing, so the Overlord will be able to scout the Robo.
Oh, yeah, good pickup.
Just flying in there. Sees the Robo, and he will see the first Immortal popping out. It's very important to see if it's a Warp Prism or Immortal first. And there we go. So hopefully he paid attention and saw it.
As soon as you saw it, he threw down an Extractor, a Roach Warren, and a Lair, and started 12 additional lings here. So I can imagine 12 lings just to keep, you know, map presence, map control.
Yeah.
Roach Warren and Lair for Roach speed and Roaches, obviously, as the game goes on.
Yeah. He's on 45 drones, and he probably won't produce any... okay, there are 2 more because he's getting Spine and Spore Crawlers at this third, so just to replace the 2 is...
Going to be an interesting... Don't you think that around the gold base, you know, an Immortal push down this way is going to be very difficult for the Zerg to deal with, right?
Yes, it's very narrow. The map is very narrow overall if you can push out with Immortal Sentry. And by the way, first was did go for a 2 pylon wall off, so if the Zerg goes for a counter, he has 2 points which he can focus on to get them down very quickly.
Yeah.
He moves out very early. 2 Immortal, 5 Sentries when he's moving out. How many gates does he have? 4, 5?
Not that many, I don't think, right? 5? 6?
It's 7 gates, actually, so yeah.
Yeah, and through the late layer here, no Roach speed has been started, which is obviously an ideal upgrade, only just now starting, so it's a little bit late that. He's having to build these units nice and early, nice and fast, and Double Spine's coming in to protect this gold, but look at this position, and look at the pylon position. It's going to be right on the edge there.
Yeah, the creep spread is actually lacking from Sacsri. There's only 1 single tumor outside of his natural base. None at the third right now. And he's trying to move in, but I think the force fields will be... yeah, he traps... Well, actually, just traps 2 roaches.
Yeah, it's a little bit late with the force fields there. Sentries did take a bit of damage, but he's still holding this position very nicely. And this Warp Prism is going to allow some warp-ins.
Zealots are really helping out here. He does have a few more force fields, I think 4. Yeah, 4 or 5. But he warps in 4 additional sentries, so let's make this 9 or 10 force fields.
Wow.
And he can really work with it. Creep spread is being cleared. It's only a single 2 more, by the way, observers with the army. And as you mentioned, road speed is still on the way, so...
Yeah, and there's a big warp in here. And 3 fantastic force fields, 4-1, and the time warp as well. Look at that beautiful setup there. All the roaches kind of stuck at the back. Units coming from behind, but the Immortals have actually turned around just to kill the spines that move in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Zealots headbutting force fields, though.
But there's still a lot of roaches left. All the drones from the natural died. I think, yeah, 14 drones died. That were all the drones from the natural, but the roaches are still alive. 2 Immortals.
Yeah.
But, can he make it? That's the question. Can Sacsri hold here?
There are so many Zealots in front of these Immortals that it's going to be very difficult to get to them. And if you try, there are force fields available, as you can see.
Really good force fields.
A beautiful attack here, and Sacsri's 2-day nightmare continues on. He lost last night versus Bunny and Challenger, and he's going to get pushed down to the low bracket here by First by the looks of it. A great attack here by First.
Yeah.
And, you know, 2 fantastic attacks in 2 different games. Get him the win.
Yeah, well played by First. Both sets, I'd say. Very aggressive. The first map, he really tricked Sacsri, like several times. Even tricked us. And the second map was just straightforward Immortal all-in, and Sacsri, he took the gold, but he couldn't take any advantage of it. Yeah. It was actually backfiring because the position is very horrible against this kind of an attack.
If he had played against, let's say, a regular Stargate play or something along the lines, instead of an aggressive Immortal movement out like that, you think it probably could have worked better? Maybe that was what his initial thoughts were?
I guess against Stargate, it's much easier to defend with his gold base. And I really think with additional creep spread around the third, that might be a bit easier, so at least the pylon doesn't get up, like, I don't know,
a centimeter away, like
that
a pixel
close
away.
to the third base. But yeah, that's how it goes, and I guess, yeah, First had just a really good strategy in mind, and he executed it perfectly, and was able to kill the Zerg with the first big push. So.
Yeah, First playing well in this qualifier so far, and he finds himself the first player to make it into the winner bracket final here.
What a surprise.
Which is just 1 game away when he plays that final, 1 best-of-3 away from getting the ticket to go to the Intel Masters Toronto. So we will be covering that game, but first we do need to find out who his opponent shall be. And we have 2 other Korean players going to face off, and it's going to be Golden versus Yoda. What do you think about that before we shoot off to a break fast?
We saw Yoda playing against Snoot before we went live, and he actually destroyed Snoot. I was very surprised. Snoot, it looked like a little bit he was trying a new strategy with Swarmhost against Terran. But Yoda looked very impressive, and he also won 2-0 against MMA. So he looks very strong at this qualifier. Golden, on the other hand, he had 2 Protoss players, Patience and Soccer. He won both matches 2-1. I personally would give the edge to Yoda, but what do I know about PvZ, right?
Yoda... Yoda did look good, though. When we watched his games before, he was looking quite good.
That's what I mean,
yeah. So I think that he could be bringing this. And from what I'm told, the players are actually already ready, so there's no need for us to take a time out. Yeah. We can just jump straight into the next one here. So, yeah, we'll see which player it's going to be. And we will continue with this in a couple of seconds' time once we're ready. The first map is going to be Overgrowth between these 2 players.
Indeed, yeah.
But we are going to...
Yeah, Golden is still... He needs some time to join the lobby, so...
Okay.
I guess we can take a small break.
Okay, the admin was keen. I was also keen, but the player's not quite ready. So we will take that moment's break, and then when we come back, it will be Yoda versus Golden.